Hey everybody, I'm Jane.
And I'm Sarah.
And you're listening to the Medium Curious Podcast, the show that takes the paranormal and makes it totally reasonable and a lovely craft that everyone should totally believe in the end.
Yes, absolutely. And today's episode, we have on the phenomenal Mary Grisey. She's a medium and a channeler, and she's just a beautiful, grounded earth mama. I can't wait for you to meet her.
Everybody's so lucky. You'll thank us later. Ready? Go.
So, Jane, this is Mary. Mary, I haven't met you, but I feel like I have. Well, you are a medium, an amazing medium. You're also a channeler, and you're also a mom, which is, I think, somehow fits into all of this. And then you do a lot of art, like channeled art, and you teach channeled art, which I think is so cool. And
can we start with the art? I'm so intrigued by the art. And then we can go to all the other places. But can you talk to us about that journey that you've been on with the channeled art?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. I don't even know where I start. I come from a family of creators. And I just actually found out recently when I was going through all my mom's stuff that my great grandma was an amazing painter. And I started hoarding all of her like watercolors and oil paintings. They're mainly like flowers and landscapes, but amazingly rendered. And I just had no idea. And also my grandmother, who I'm named after, Mary, was an astrologer in the closet. So at that time in like the 70s and the 80s, you know, I don't think a lot of people were really doing that. And
we're talking about it.
maybe they were. But and then my mom is like an amazing, or was an amazing seamstress. So big into like fabrics and, you know, stuff like that. And made all of our costumes as kids for like Halloween. Yeah. It wasn't really until, God, I think senior year in high school, which I feel is a little late to the game. I feel like all these like artists are like, I was painting since I came out of the womb. And I think that I was just talking to dead people mainly. But, then, which all, you know, intersects anyway. But I took this ceramics class in the senior year of my high school, and it really changed a lot from everything for me. And it just came really easily. And I just found my joy. And then, you know, going into college, I majored in art, and I have like 3 degrees in art. And you know, I was a painter, started out painting these kind of like Georgia O'Keeffe type skulls. You know, we all have to like start somewhere.
Art
really
is a great place to start.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Just
start at the top.
Beam me to New Mexico, basically.
Yeah.
And so I was painting, and then it just felt like it wasn't enough. Like, I was like, I have to evolve into like this immersive space, like building spaces. And so I started, I moved to Chicago, my mid-20s, and majored in fiber and material studies. And I learned how to weave on a floor loom, and just kind of moved away from this like square canvas on the wall and moved into this more imaginary space where I was ripping into the wall with a knife. It was really weird. And I think that I was dealing with a lot of, you know, grief and, you know, childhood trauma, as we do in art school.
Required. It's one of the courses.
And so I was creating these immersive installations, and didn't really like totally know what I was doing, but the soul always knows. And I feel now looking back, and I'm like, holy shit, I was actually creating scenes from past lives. And I
Whoa.
was connecting with my guides, which now you can kind of see this weaving in the background, but
Yeah.
Gorge.
I started creating these kind of, I don't know another way to say this, like totemic, like vertical, like earth to cosmic, like hand woven beings hung from the ceiling. And these sort of hand built clay vessels that would sit in the middle of these hung weavings. Like these are 10 feet tall by, I don't know, like body size, like 2 feet. I don't know. And they would hover over you. So as a viewer, you would be like looking up at these sort of things.
Wow,
Effigies
so
or,
cool.
you know. Yeah. And I would sing these songs, literally, like I would go into GarageBand and like sing a song that would just channel through me. And then I would put the sound into the exhibition, like the show.
Oh,
and I would hide this little speaker into the.
That's so cool. I would love to go see that.
Thank you. Yeah. And I just felt like, yeah, at the time I was like really having a spiritual awakening. And I started reading tarot. My mom bought me a tarot deck and I started reading for my friends for fun. And I'm like, oh, I was just basically doing this my whole life. And like, I realized I thought I was just finding my truth in these installations I would create. I'm like, oh, people can just come in and like find their center and find what's within them. But now I look back like 10, 12 years later after creating these things. And I'm like, whoa, that was a past life that I had as like an oracle or a seer in southern Italy. Like really specific stuff.
So like you would look at a certain piece and you would be like, oh, that's me in Italy in the 1400s or something.
Yeah. And it would be like these specific stories that I would create and then I would look them up later. Like that specific installation that I was talking about with like the hung weavings and the ceramic vessel with the sound. That piece is called Sung from the Mouth of Kume. And it was said that these priestesses or seers would sing their prophecies out from the mouth of a cavern, and kings and emperors would like come and receive like insight from these women. And then I realized in a past life regression that I did on myself, that I was like, I was like, oh, I'm in that. I just created like literally the scene. And I'm, which is weird to say this, but I'm naturally also skeptic. And I had to Google it, like the history of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, this is actually like, it was one of the first Greek settlements in southern Italy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I love that we can have these insights, these psychic hits and Google them.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. And just like get the validity that's like, oh, okay. This really did happen.
So you're saying that you named it from the mouth of Kume just intuitively? Like you were like, it's called this. No,
I actually Googled that. But
okay. I was going to freak out completely, but I'll just freak out a little.
I mean, I wish I was that good. No, just kidding. But like the story was within me.
Right.
And at the time I was dating my ex, he was a total like history buff and into that kind of stuff. He's like, that sounds like this, like what you're talking about. And I was like, oh, and then the whole story kind of unfolded. And then that's when I had I titled it and everything, but then I had the past life regression because I thought I was just telling a story,
Yeah.
And didn't know your part in the story.
Yeah. And I was like, there's so much emotion in this. I don't quite understand it. And a lot of it was just like my process of making the art, really in any art that I make, is I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm not an artist. So there's a lot of artists out there that have like sketches and, oh, I'm going to make this political thing, or I'm going to
They have their
I mean,
goal in mind.
Yeah. And I'm just kind of like, I have like an idea because I get the download drop and then push to like do this kind of thing. Because weaving, I mean, you have to like, there's math and there's like a lot of stuff in there. You can't just be like totally off the cuff. But I have a general sort of download, and then I kind of just start going, and it informs me, and it builds and builds and creates.
Wow.
So
that's
that
amazing.
Is so cool. That is amazing.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense for the art process is like get the download and then start with enough math. And then you say it just kind of evolves from there.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous. So nowadays, I know you teach as well.
Yeah.
So you're mediuming and you're channeling and you're arting. Are you still doing all the things and you're momming? You've got a little.
There's a lot of ings. There's probably more than that, but
yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I never thought that, I mean, I did my MFA thinking like, oh, like if the art thing doesn't work, I'll just like teach art. And then I actually, like I was like a TA, in university. And, I was just like, this is horrible. Like, I just like, don't like the institution. And I don't like being told what to teach. And so I kind of stopped, I like let go of that vision, and then the economy happened. And, I found out that, I always knew that I was a medium, but people just started coming to me for, advice or things like this. And then I was like, I should just like do this, instead of, I was just surviving, when I moved to LA in like 2016, and I was like waiting tables and just, that's fine. It was just like not for me. And, that's when I started, giving readings, and I kind of, was still like making art, like on the side. But that kind of like settled down. And then the part where I'm like the medium, like started rising, and then it gets kind of wild.
Oh, good. Let's go.
Oh, okay.
Well, first I want to ask you, so you knew that you were a medium when you were a kid. You kind of talked about that earlier, and tarot was that your gateway? Because we just talked to somebody who said that tarot was their gateway. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is we've talked to a few people now where flipping cards is the gateway into it.
Yeah. And my mom gifted me a tarot deck, so it holds this like really special thing as well. And I think that it gave my logical mind something to like do, like the cards, and then my spirit would rise and I could believe it. But yeah, I mean, my grandmother, Mary, she passed in our home when I was 4. And that's when I started really remembering like having deeply paranormal experiences, and seeing her, hearing her audibly, and then not just her, but like other things would start occurring. And I mean, I have the kind of childhood story where you just become inundated and terrified.
So you were, it terrified you. You were scared.
Oh yeah. It was
what do
really
you
scary.
think would have been helpful for you as a kid having those experiences so that you weren't scared?
Well, my theory is that I grew up with a lot of trauma in my childhood. Things around, I was the youngest child growing up. And my dad is a Vietnam veteran, has a lot of PTSD. There was a lot of aggression in my home with my older brother. And so there was a lot of that chaos energy around me, and my parents, trying to survive financially and like all this stuff. So I grew up very quickly, I think. Yeah. Didn't have a language for what I was experiencing. as a child. And so I think for me, my perspective and lens of the spirit world was a reflection of the trauma in my home.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So like there could have been like, I know there were like angelics around me, but I was seeing them as like demons.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you tell anybody about this? Did you tell your mom?
I really like didn't totally. I think there was a lot of animosity and anger towards my mom. And we didn't really have a great relationship. So I was very closed to opening at all, with her. And it wasn't until, like my 20s and then more into my 30s when I really started like talking to her about that. But
does she remember you having those experiences?
Yes. Yeah. We've talked about, there was a instance where things around me would fall or they would fly against the wall and break or
holy shoot,
crazy telekinesis stuff.
That would be scary.
Yeah. And she's like, what it's like poltergeist child. And the lights would flash on and off. We grew up Catholic. So it's like, that whole story. And my mom was very much, into Jesus and religion aspect. So, but there was always a woo-woo part of her, which we dive in before her passing. Like she gets like deeply involved in, but yeah, she saw strange things happening around me. I think she just didn't really, there was too much going on in her life.
Yeah. It was just in addition to the chaos that she was used to.
And here's this happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now with kind of your more grounded and clear perspective, which this is how I perceive you, your channelings are really beautiful. Like, I feel like you have a really good handle on what's happening. Like through the lens of the now, Mary, looking back, what would you say was happening in the room and like, why were things flying around and breaking? And do you have a sense?
Yeah. I think that the spirit world, my guides, some of those paranormal events, they were just trying to be like, hey, I'm here. You're okay. You're okay. But I think my nervous system was just so jacked that I could not see outside of that.
Yeah.
And I think that partly it was also a recognition of my aura or my electromagnetic field or like something going on. I think that I try not to like totally have 100% answer because I believe in the mystery of the universe. And
yes,
I don't really know.
That's great. That's a perfect answer. I'm so curious, and I've never done any studying about the electromagnetic fields, but I used to break microphones all the time. I was a talker. I would like talk at trade shows, and they would break, and all the tech guys were like, "Oh shit." When they'd see me, they'd be like, she's going to break it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, sorry, I don't know.
Kind of powerful.
Can't control my power. But I love what you just said about the mystery and just like embracing that.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can say more about that. That's so funny. It came through in a reading this week where there was like a whole like section where they were just doing a download of like, yeah, the mysteries are where actually what I heard, and tell me if this resonates, it was like the mystery space is where all the creativity is. And
that makes so much sense. That's so good. It's where all the juice is in the mystery.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that is what our human experience is supposed to be.
Not the knowing. Yeah.
And it's really actually interesting you're saying that because today I had a reading before this call and I was up late finishing some like application for my daughter's school and it was just like so heady and my spirit was still there. And I'm like, I gotta get grounded for this reading. And I was on this walk with my dog and and I'm like, guides, give me a sign so I can just be in my body and just help me out here.
Yeah.
Help.
And I'm big on signs. And I looked down and there's this childhood, like this, you could tell a bunch of children were like playing with chalk. Right at that moment, I looked down and there was a rainbow that said smile.
Oh,
It was so simple. And I think that we like to create so many like complexities and things are too like, we just need to simplify,
yes.
and find that joy, and that can only be happening when we're in the moment,
Yes.
My head, we're like doing this, like looking up, and I wouldn't have been in that moment to like hear my guide. Okay, look down. Like
it's like
this,
right in front of your face.
I'm right there.
Yeah. I've been going through it lately, just trying to get back into readings and having some anxiety about taking a bunch of time off and asking for help me. And what I keep getting from my guides is ease, honey, ease and flow, dear one. Just be in the ease and the flow, and don't make this as complicated as you're making it. It does not need to be this complicated. You should find the joy in the love. And I think it's just like the joy in the love.
I would say to my guides, have you met me? That's great for you.
In my mind on this hamster wheel. Yeah. I love that. And every time I have to vocally say out loud, either to my client looking at them before I give a reading, and I have to say, this is an experiment. We're gonna just play here. And then
I love that.
Like all of this, like heaviness, either on their shoulders or like whatever, it like lightens. And
that's such a good tip.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, we're here to play. We're just going to experiment and have fun.
Yeah, and that's the resonance of spirit. They're like, oh, we're in that happy bubble.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
Oh,
I'm going to use that.
Hot tip. Thank you. Pro tip. That is so good. Yeah. I wonder what your favorite part, since we're in the joy bubble right now, what is your favorite part of doing this work?
Oh my gosh. I hate to sound like selfish, but you should enjoy,
that's
like,
right.
Too, right? I think it's the feeling of, okay, so I'm sober, like I don't drink or do drugs or anything. So basically, I know. Woo, I think that's like a medium initiate sometimes.
I think it was for me.
I know, yeah. Spirit's like, no.
Yeah.
Your body can't handle that shit, but go on. Yeah.
But like, it's this feeling of like euphoria, and it's this it's a je ne sais quoi. Like I don't know how to articulate it, but it's like I go to the higher dimensions for a momentary time, and I get to hang out with spirit. And I even would say this, like, not only for my readings, but like when I teach, when I am speaking or like making art, I always go to this place.
It's the high vibe. You got to get to that high vibe.
Yeah.
And get into that dimension.
Yeah. And it might be like the Akashic records or, I don't know where this is, but it's some other dimensional reality. Yeah. That we get to connect and play in. So, yeah.
Oh, I love that.
It made me cry. Like as you were speaking, my tears just like sprung into my eyes, like just the recognition of that, and how beautifully said. Like you like brought it into the room as you were talking about it. That was awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Right there.
So let's talk a little bit about being in that it's like that shift into that dimension. That, I mean, you and I, Jane, have talked about spending time in the Akashic records where it is like that extra, there's something about
it's like rarefied air or something.
Yeah. Like it's like a shimmer. It's just this shimmery feel, like that dimension. I want to hear about your channeling. So you you get into that zone, that very plugged in, one with source, that high elevated feeling, and then you channel divine wisdom, and you have who you connect with, they have a name. Is that right?
Yeah. And that's kind of like when my life got crazy, when I like 10 minutes ago, when I was like, and then my life got crazy, is I was just giving a normal, well, seemingly normal, I don't know if readings are normal, but reading to someone. And I started noticing I was I had a being was just speaking through me, and it was not normal, like how I usually operate in my readings. And then it would happen more and more. And then they sort of identified themselves as the galactic, like the Council of 12. And I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
Is that all you guys can do?
Yeah, I'm like,
that's amazing.
And so, yeah, and this was before my mediumship's like development journey. And it really started ramping up when I got pregnant with my first daughter, and then my mom passed, and then we fell into a worldwide pandemic. And
oh yeah, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, and they kept, before the pandemic hit, it was like December of 2019. I kept talking about the great change, and I'm just like, I don't really know what's going on. And then the great change happened, and I had to stop at some point because I was waking up, breastfeeding my daughter at 5 a.m., her screaming, and then I was sitting there in this like half awake daze, and I would just audibly hear in the room like things. And then one time I heard Vega, someone shouting Vega really loud. And I'm like, what the hell? And then I Googled that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Vega is a star in the system of Lyra, or however you say it.
Yeah.
And then I started having these rememberings. I was a blue being on this planet. And this just isn't the normal thoughts that.
No, when you're breastfeeding your kid at 5 a.m. Yeah.
And audibly, it was a male voice. It was like a deep, not my voice. And I just there was a lot of remembering happening. So yeah. And then I just started direct voice channeling, and I would just start voice channeling to a group of people. And it got so intense, I kind of had to put a pause to it. And I asked them, the Council of 12, I'm like, what do I need to do? And they're like, you need to study evidential mediumship.
Oh, wow.
That's very specific.
It's very specific. Huh. Did they give you a reason why?
Because they were saying I didn't trust it enough.
Oh.
And you need evidence. And and they said my path is also a medium. You need to start doing this now. So I'm in the training sequence, I think, and of those movies where they're like learning.
Montage. Yeah.
Yeah. Montage.
Yeah.
There's a really good track. And
that's so interesting. So Jane has recently just come out as a channeler, and I kind of feel like all mediums are channelers. Week. Yeah.
Love that. Yes.
And my channeling, I've been on the same journey too. Mine has come a lot more through just writing, but I do think there is something to the evidential mediumship, where we were just talking about this in another podcast, Jane, where it does provide the validation that we need, that we ourselves need for us. Yeah.
I mean, it's a terrible analogy for sober chicks, but I was sort of like, it's the soda to the booze. It's like, it's it's the balance. Like, we need to have something super grounding, like you were born in St. Louis, and and we're getting to say things out of our mouth that we would never in 1,000 years know. And then someone's going like, his son's middle name is the same as that's some random thing that came through. This guy, your son, is the middle name. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's nice. Like something that's just real. It's like on a birth certificate.
Tangible.
Real,
It's
real,
tangible.
Real. Yeah. So then when I'm hearing from the Walters, who are, that's what they call themselves because I'm a goofball. And I'm like, oh, like Walter, the farting dog. And they're like, sure, but we really mean it as we are light transmissions, eternal resonance. I'm like, okay, that's good too. But, but like, it really does help to have like, it's this grounding to have real.
Yeah. And there's something about channeling or trance or, whatever we want to call it.
Yeah.
That it anchors the essence of spirit into the room and the atmosphere changes. And that's why I love, Sarah, you asked me about like what my process, is like. And, like I'm just, I get into that zone, which is really just like within myself. It's all your channels, all, within, because I swear, I think I'm just channeling a higher version of myself, really.
Yeah.
Which sounds kind of narcissistic, but
no, but it's so true. I mean,
that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my theory. Yeah, I think we're all just.
I love that.
We're not separate, really. Anyway,
no,
right?
No. And that leads me to think too. It's like when I've been thinking about all of these channelers. I feel like channelers are really having a moment right now.
Oh, we're
coming online. Yeah. I just was listening to Sarah Landon's new book, You Are a Channeler. It really, I think it's all the same voice, all the same divine wisdom, no matter what they're called, what they're calling themselves or what they're named,
Yeah,
and all the wisdom sounds so familiar and similar and is resonant in the same way.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I just said that to the Walters. I was like, listen, everybody's a channeler. Do you guys really need me? I was like, let's just have a conversation about this. Cause like, who isn't a channeler? And they were like, yes, dear one. And here's why, blah, 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 and I was like, okay.
Yeah. And I think, I think it's just through maybe your route, like through opening up your aura or, your whatever through mediumship, you're just more susceptible to opening to that essence or that frequency. So I'm sure it hit in divine timing, for you. And you're probably like a little skeptical like me. And channeling, I think especially with that, it has to land in a perfect timing through a traumatic event or of like your own life or the world or something, which is probably, Sarah, why you're talking about like all these channelers coming out of the closet. Cause our world is it's a trash fire.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's exactly what they said was like, P.S. You guys have to ask for help. That was like the message I got this week. And like
help's
loudly
available.
Yep. Earnestly. They said earnestly ask for help, which was so cute because you just told that story of like, help.
Yeah. Smile. Yeah. Yeah. And there's something about, I feel like mediumship, like evidential mediumship is changing. Or maybe this is like my experience right now, or maybe I'm changing. I don't know, but probably both. But I think that, evidential mediumship, it's hitting this like wall where we're asked to go beyond the wall, and it's becoming more like, instead of like, here, I got your dad here, and this is what he looks like, and it's more of like, spirit, use my voice, like, and I think maybe the channeling and the that evidential mediumship, like maybe that's where we're going, in hitting new territory, I think.
Well, instead of just like the pony and trick show where
zip codes and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Channeling spirit, channeling someone's loved one, and actually what they or thinking and feeling, I feel like it's a very meaningful form of mediumship.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Bringing them into the space.
Exactly, Mary. I was thinking that a second ago. Like I felt your guides come in a little while ago. Like you started talking about them and I started to feel them. I was like, damn. Like my vision got weird and I was like, oh, cool. And that's my experience. And I can't wait to someday come to you for a reading. But
Oh my
Sarah
gosh.
does that. She brings in the room. And not all mediums do that. And so I love that. So that's maybe part of the evolution is like we learn, okay, we're going to channel spirit because then we like back up enough.
Yeah.
We have to back up some. I don't ever want to do like fully see you later, bye. I don't think, but you know, we back up enough to get out of the way to let them be in the room. And then, but that's just always been a gift Sarah has where like when she channels my dad, I was like, I start bawling immediately. I'm like, oh my God, dad. You know, it's like, oh my God, there you are. Yeah,
Beautiful.
right. It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, I think earlier on in life, like being younger, when I was doing this direct voice channeling with the council, I think that there was part of me that just wouldn't completely like immerse myself in it. Like I was, but I was like, there was a part of me that was scared, like they're going to take over my body or like,
right. Yeah.
That's totally understandable.
And now I think I had to distance myself to then come back and I'm like, oh, there's this other guide now. So the mama guide.
Oh, is that,
Ooh.
I just read something the other day that you posted on Instagram and it was so helpful to me. I felt like it was speaking directly to me and it was something about taking little sips of air, just like when you're meditating and just like expanding your energy field with each sip of air so that it just grows bigger. And I was just like thinking about just like a light growing. And I was like, oh, this is what my nervous system needs right now. This is so perfect for me to read in this moment. It just really spoke to me in that way. So that's your new guide that you're channeling. That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember going to a reading a few years ago and this woman, she's an amazing channeler. And she was just like, what's your relationship with the divine mother or the divine feminine? And I was like, well, I just gave birth to a daughter, but like at the time I was the galactic, I was doing that kind of stuff. And that was where my awareness was. And then and then slowly this guide started coming in and I kept seeing roses in my mind and I kept smelling florals. And I was just like, statues of Isis would like appear and Mary and all this, divine mother, feminine stuff would start just slowly seeping into my life. And then I'm like, okay. And on my 40th birthday last summer, my she was 6 months old at the time. She was sleeping in our room and I was just really quiet, like on my phone. It was like finally like everyone's asleep. And then audibly again, I hear mem like really loud. And it's always I'm like, can you guys like not shout? And
Baby's
it's like
asleep.
scare the shit out of me. And so I'm like, whoa. And then I like, of course, I start looking that up and mem, M-E-M, like in my mind, I heard it and then I saw it written out in my mind. And then I looked it up. And mem is the number 40 in Hebrew. And it was my 40th birthday that day.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. And it also means like the waters and like the ocean and the void and like, and just, the mystery. So,
wow.
So yeah, she's here now.
She's here.
In perfect timing for what you are currently going through in life with 2 little ones. And yeah, that is a very different feel, like the divine mother feel.
Yeah. And it's every time I imagine her in my mind, it's going to sound weird, but whatever. This is a mediumship podcast. So
We love weird.
she shows me herself as this prismatic rainbow. You know, when you see like rainbows in a crystal,
Mhm.
like a floating blob, like orb. And she's always floating in a cave, like a cave space.
Whoa.
And I always see ravens being connected to her. So there's a lot of things that I'm starting, like I call it the cosmic breadcrumb trail.
Yes.
That I'm having fun playing with.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I always see her. She's just this vision, like a spectral of light, and not like dead or alive, just in another dimension. I don't know how to explain that.
That's so cool. I mean, as you're talking about that, I'm visualizing her, and it's just stunning.
Yeah.
So when you teach and you're teaching channeled art, what is the biggest advice you have to give people to tune into this creative power? It's like a creative power from the sounds of it.
Yeah. So like, how do I facilitate people to
like
tune into their...
Yeah. Like, so if somebody hasn't experienced any of this yet, if someone, is having a hard time getting there, going there, trusting in this process, what are some of the things that you teach to help people find their way?
Believe it or not, it's belief system. And I mean, I think we're all mediums, we're all psychics, you have to develop it, right? But we all have intuition, like, for sure. So my biggest thing is, because it was my barrier, was to trust and to believe and worthiness and whatever that thing is that's telling you can't do this or you can't connect. I think looking at that and then also I think that checking in with, like, what is my nervous system doing? Because the nervous system that's the mechanics for connecting with spirit anyway. So if your nervous system is jacked, like you're not in that radio station to, connect with that resonance of spirit. So I think it's a lot of things, but I would say starting with, like, worthiness and the soul first, and then go outward. Yeah.
That's really beautiful. I love it. That's that idea of, like, suspension of disbelief, like that ability to kind of flip to that.
Yeah.
I've always had it. I've always been like, sure. But applying it to yourself is another jam. Like you're saying, it's like this, like, weird, like, sort of like self-love required to believe that you're sort of worthy or capable or whatever. Like
that, I think it's such a huge component of just being successful at living and at life, at lifing, is that feeling of being worthy, that self-worth, just knowing it. And once that core, like you're talking about nervous system, if you don't feel worthy, your nervous system is not going to feel worthy. You're not going to feel safe, so having that core belief of self-value and worth, that makes so much sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And I always find, that I work best in the atmosphere, where I feel most safe and sort of secured. So, I don't do well parties and events. You're like reading at, like, people's parties, and I'm just like,
oh no.
No.
That's hilarious. I would do great at that. It's just a different, I'd be like, yeah, cool. How drunk are you? Perfect.
I know. Sweet.
Oh, well, these are just so, like, such incredible gems that I'm kind of feel like I'm not doing good radio, because I'm just like, soaking so deep into what you're saying. I'm just like, what? It's so good. Like the core of it, the crux of all of it is like so deep and beautiful and resonant.
I do. Like now that the cave imagery is there for me, I can't stop thinking about it. Like it just feels like entering into the depths of something so, like grounded.
Yeah. Yeah. And sort of, I also see it as a womb, like you're entering into this universe that is the mother, and we all came from the womb.
Yes. Yep.
So
okay. Tears springing to eyes for a third time. Nice job, Mary.
I need some virtual Phoenix.
Thank you. Holy cows. Well, I know we're starting to get to the edge of our time. Sarah, is there anything that you feel like you wanted to? I know we're so happy. We feel so esteemed to have you here, Mary. So thank you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. No, yeah.
Yeah. I just love what you're doing. I'm so delighted to see it up someplace like Instagram. And like I said, you never know when you're going to touch somebody, when you're going to light up someone's life. And what I read from Mem, so now that I know that it was Mem, it really did help me settle down my nervous system when I was having some, anxiety. So I was very grateful to read that, and it was perfect timing. And I felt like it was just for me.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. And that's what these, channelings do. And I don't know, I just started like, when I first started doing it, I got a good response. And I'm like, they're just like words on a page, but that's the thing with channeling, is that each person who reads it is going to receive almost like a layer of an onion, a certain layer of it. Mm-hmm. And even like you guys might read this same channeling in a month, and then you're going to receive another layer. And that's the thing that I tell my students is like, when you channel, like save it, like write it down, record it, keep it so you can get the medicine from it like in a year, So anyone, who's like channeling or trying to like definitely keep it around, because channeling isn't linear, and we're tapping into this greater quantum, experience. So that's going to affect our humanity and our bodies and our spirits, because they're not separate.
Yeah. Or already has.
Oh, thanks for reading it. Yeah.
Aw. Well, yeah. Well, just gee whiz. That's what I got. Just so delightful.
Walters.
Yeah. Yeah. The Walters have this they talk fast and have a whole thing. And yeah, it's really hard to trust it. That's right. So you've really helped me today too, to just be like, we're all just these little funny humans having a funny little human life. And when I can kind of stay back and go like, whatever, babe, Walter it up. Who's it going to hurt? Nobody. It's going to help some people. Good. Move on,
Yeah.
I like knowing that there's the Walters there that I can get in touch with if I need to. Hey, Jane, what are the Walters saying today?
Yeah. I got to talk about light.
We got to check in with them.
Well, thank you. Truly, I do feel like it was a blessed event, and I'm very grateful to you. And I can't wait to see what's next, and tune into Mem and hear all that beautiful wisdom and watch your babies grow up. So thanks for being with us.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks, Mary.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Medium Curious is made possible
by Jane Morgan Editing.
Sarah Rathke made the amazing music.
And Gigi Hawkins, podcast consultant.
Mix by Podcast Engineers. Our logo was created by Eric Allen.
Kyle Hansen McKee, photography.
And the dogs under the desk in Hawaii are Kalea and Domino.
And Trixie in California.